And I looked at your website and I noticed one of your main focal points was, authenticity and being authentic. And I would assume the reason why they still respect you is because of who you are and how you deliver yourself. How can people tap into that? Because I look at my social media page and there's times where I'm like, I wish I was that girl. I wish I was the girl I portrayed on my Instagram with the filters and acting a certain way. And it's so easy to kind of go down that road. But how do you tap into that, especially as a young person trying to make it in this industry to develop these relationships?
That's a fantastic question, Jess. And the simplest answer, honestly, is you just got to keep doing it, right? You
Hmm.
need experience. You need, I talk about reps, 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 reps. I could coach you, I could teach you, I could prompt you with any number of sayings and advice and all of that. None of that's going to take the place of actually going out and doing it. And you're right. One of the things that I talk about a lot with up and coming sportscasters is tapping into the best version of yourself. And I use kind of a weird example, but I'm a pop culture fanatic. And when I was
Hmm.
growing up in the 80s, there was a fantastic mockumentary called This Is Spinal Tap. I don't know if you've heard of it or if you're too young to
I
have
don't
heard of
think
it. If you
so.
haven't, make sure you look it up. This is Spinal Tap. It's the same group of actors, comedic actors, who did Best in Show and A Mighty Wind, really, really funny movies. But this was a mockumentary about a British rock band, and they were being covered as a rock band touring for like the last time.
Hmm.
And they showed their director of the documentary that they invented a speaker that turns to 11. So most speakers turn to 10. Well, we created a speaker that
Hmm.
turns to 11. And it was a funny skit and it was a funny bit in the movie. But the reason I share that with these students is we all need to tap into our 11. On television, if you think you're being energetic and you think you're being enthusiastic and passionate, the lens kind of deadens everybody's personality. So a perfect example of the extreme is nowadays the confrontational, argumentative style of sportscasting dominates, right? On all the networks, everybody is
Hmm.
shouting at each other just to be noticed. That's not being the most
Yeah.
authentic version of yourself. That's not Stephen A. Smith. That's not Skip Bayless. That's
Yeah.
not Shannon Sharp. That's who they play on television. As sportscasters,
Hmm.
I think we need to be more authentic to ourselves. So you still need that enthusiasm. You still need to tap into that 11, but you still need to be the best version of yourself that you could be. And sometimes it goes along with what you said earlier, Jess. You have to find a balance between being educational and entertaining. I call it edutainment. You need to be both.
I love that.
And I'll take it a step further. And I'm a big fan of alliteration. So I use the two
Hmm.
A's. You need to have accessibility and you need to have authority. So what does that mean? It means essentially the same thing. You need to have a personality that people want to watch and listen to and hang out with, but you also need to have a certain amount of expertise in what you're talking about so you have credibility and people will continue to listen to you and trust you that you're giving them the information that is most critical. Those are the two things that I think once you find that perfect balance, then you know you're being your most authentic self. And really, like I said, the only way to do that is to practice, 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 rehearse, 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 and get as many reps as you possibly can.